Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, September 8th, 2024. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. So good to see you, Valerie. Much love, Taz. Good to see you, Gandhi. Great to see you, Isaac, Carrie. Much love, Christy. Thank you guys for joining me and being here first thing in the chat. That's wonderful. So let's begin by talking a little bit about our about our astrology. So our astrology today is beautiful, intense, powerful energy. We are still in that moon in Scorpio, that harsh energy of transformation and change. And in the sign of the moon, we can be deeply critical. We can go to the depths of ourself and analyze and see our true nature and understand what needs to be changed, what needs to be let go of, what needs to be pursued, and how to go about doing it. Combine this energy with that sun in Virgo, that intensely analytical, that organizer, the one who prepares and is able to sustain us through the winter, the one who through her own effort ascends to the stars. You take that bright Virgo energy and you combine it with this moon in Scorpio, and you can truly perfect the self. You can do what is necessary and move and flow in motion and be that powerful transformative energy. It's a powerful moment if you choose to embrace it. And when I was meditating on the cards this morning and thinking about what I wanted to title the episode, I kept thinking about Artemis. I hope many of you watched the Artemis episode that was done earlier today. It was a lot of fun going and digging and doing all that reading and thinking about Artemis so much. And then I drew the moon card, and engaging with her made me see the moon in a different light. The first thing I thought of was the wildness, the terrifying nature of the night. And being under that moonlight means that you can be seen. You are exposed. You are prey for the goddess, you know? But also it's this idea that the moon and even Artemis herself is that unconsciousness. You know, it's that depth of our deep fears. There's so much beauty and potential in the unconscious. It can be that crazy intensity. It can be scary and violent, but it can be the most transformative and powerful and beautiful thing you can imagine. It's all about how we connect to it and how we engage. And we have to be able to face and look at these things. If they are obscured and they are hidden, then that is when they can truly be the most fearful. We have to learn to face and embrace, right? When we learn to understand the wildness and the violence and the temptation that brings and the potential that brings and all of its wildness and the necessity of it, we can better move and flow. We can better understand the universe, right? There's great power to be engaged there, you know, and it's interesting. And when I was talking to Ammon about this, I was sending him some emails and he said something funny. I was asking him about these bear rights, all of these people saying that the girls have to pretend to be the bear in order to defend themselves from Artemis. I'm like, what's that about? And he said that the bear is protecting yourself from the unconsciousness, having the strength. And I just thought that was so wild. You know, that moon energy is that fear too. And when we go to the depths of ourself and we look, right? Sometimes we don't like what we see. Sometimes it's painful to see. That's why we need that energy of Scorpio and of Virgo, because they have the strength, right, to sustain us in those darkest moments, to truly go to the depths where most of the time we just sit at the surface, afraid to even question what we are capable of, what we have even done, right? We must learn to be honest with ourselves and honest with reality in spite of the terrifying nature of it, right? I wanted to read for you guys a poem by Madison Julius Kawine. It's called At Moonrise. Pale faces looked up at me, up from the earth like flowers. Pale hands reached down to me out of the air like stars, as over the hills robed on with the twilight. The hours, the day's last hours departed, and dusk put up her bars. Pale fingers beckoned me on, pale fingers like starlit mist. Dim voices called me, dim as the wind's dim rune. As up from the night like a nymph from the amethyst, of her waters as silver as foam, rose the round white breast of the moon. And I followed the pearly waving and beckon of hands, the luring glitter and dancing glimmer of feet, and the sibilant whisper of silence that summoned to the lands remoter than legend or fairy, where myth and tradition meet. And I came to a place where the shadow of ancient night brooded over ruins, far wilder than castles of dreams, fantastic, a mansion of phantoms where, wandering white, I met with a shadowy presence whose voice I had followed, it seems. And with the ivy waved in the wind and the moonlight laid like a ghostly benediction, a finger wan on the face of the one from whose eyes the darkness rayed, the face of the one I had known in the years long gone. And she looked in my face and kissed me on my brow and on cheek, murmured my name and wistfully smiled in my eyes, and the tears welled up in my heart that was wild and weak, and my bosom seemed bursting with yearning, and my soul with sighs. And there mid the ruins we sat. Oh, strange were the words that she said, distant and dim and strange, and the hollow the look she gave, and I knew her then for a joy that was dead, a hope, a beautiful hope that my youth had laid in its grave. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Having to confront that wildness and the terrifying beauty and scariness of death and all of that potential, right? Lots to think on. All right, let us begin our sortes. Today, we're going to start with Goethe's Faust. Oh, sorry, let's do our Ganapati Oracle first, actually. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Lord Ganesha, Ganapati, the divine child, Lord of beginnings, guardian of the threshold, master of spirits, the Ganas, inspire us this evening and ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. And send to us a message. Inspire us through these cards. All right. And the message from Ganesha is nurture. Wow. What beautiful and profound energy. Nurture. Raise. And there we have the goddess Parvati raising the divine child Ganapati. Beautiful. Nurturing him, providing him the love he needs to grow and become the divinity we know, right? And this makes me think of all that princess energy that we've been receiving in the tarot these last few days. And the fact that that energy must be nurtured so that it can blossom and bloom into its full glory, right? Wonderful. And also thinking of this Artemis energy. Artemis in paradoxical fashion is the nurse, the one who nurtures, who helps through the pregnancy and provides for the youth. Interesting. Let's continue. All right, so now we can do our sortes. And the sortes, for those of you unaware, comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And it's where we use a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature, and we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the muses, and we ask them to send us a message through the text. So, muses, what is the message from Goethe? Inspire us this evening. How comes this lovely casket in my box? I well remember fastening the locks. 'Tis very strange. What can there be inside? Perhaps it's left as some security against the loan my mother has supplied. And here by a ribbon hangs a key. I'll open it and solve the mystery. Pandora's box. The exiting of the prison and the opening of the treasure, right? What is that treasure but wisdom? And that wisdom is twofold, and it is painful, right? To open up Pandora's box is to engage in the horrors of reality, right? And you hold the key. You hold the key. The key is around your neck, even. You just need to be of strong mind and of strong will, prepared to experience that pan. Only then can you unlock the box. All right, let's continue. Marlowe, Dr. Faustus. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dr. Faustus and Marlowe? Inspire us. Necromancy, a form of spiritualism calling spirits of the dead for the purpose of foretelling the future. Wow. A form of spiritualism calling spirits of the dead for the purpose of foretelling the future. How do you perform the necromancy? How do you foretell the future? You engage with the past. Recognize, what am I doing here? Right? Each one of these books is a gateway, a portal into the past, an image, a reflection of its creator, right? A living idol that can be engaged and can tell you of the past, can show you the truth, as at least it understands it, through that necromantic power, right? The sortes, all divination in essence is a form of necromancy. You're invoking the muses. You are asking the ancestors, right? Let's continue. Dante, the Divine Comedy. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dante? Inspire us. To the first words of a Latin hymn to the cross, the banners of the Lord come forth. Dante adds the word inferni, applying them thus to Satan, the Lord of hell. To the first words of a Latin hymn to the cross, the banners of the Lord come forth. Dante adds the word inferni, implying them thus to Satan, the Lord of hell. The banners of Lord Inferni come forth. And for those of who understand, they recognize that this is just Zeus by another name and another form. The chthonic Zeus versus the Olympian Zeus. All right, let's continue. Narcissus and Goldman by Hermann Hesse. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Hesse? Inspire us this evening. His thoughts ran after them as he began to walk briskly. Once more he felt tested. smelled, touched everything over and over. How many dreams the unknown woman had fulfilled for him, all the buds she had brought to flowering, stilled so many wanderings and longings, roused so many new ones in their place. Wow, we're being touched by the goddess here directly. Listen to this. His thoughts ran after them as he began to walk briskly. As he moved forward in creation, it's when the goddess was able to come into his thoughts as his thoughts ran away with him, right? It is in those moments of imagination and throes that the muses speak. Once more he felt as he began to walk, once more he felt, tasted, smelled, touched everything over and over. The goddesses, the muses, even the gods, they always appear first through these elements, the smell, the taste, even the touch. When you are in those deep meditative states, you can experience this. And then he asks himself, how many dreams the unknown woman had fulfilled for him, all the buds she had brought to flowering. All the buds she had brought to flowering. What does Artemis do? What is her role and her power? It is her who brings the buds to bloom. Stilled so many wanderings and long rousings, roused so many new ones in their place. Changing of focus, changing of interest in this unconscious way, through this unconscious connection. Pure Artemis on display. Wow. Let's continue. Lord Byron, selected poetry. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? Inspire us. And oh, if e'er I should forget, I swear, but that's impossible and cannot be. Sooner shall this blue ocean melt to air, sooner shall earth resolve itself to sea, than I resign thine image, O my fair, or think of anything excepting thee. A mind diseased, no remedy can psychic. Here the ship gave a lurch, and he grew seasick. This is wild, for he is floating and rising upon the seas, learning to move in that flow, that divine Rhea of the goddess, right? And as soon as he professes his love, the seas give a lurch to test him. Right? Let's look over this a little more deeply here. And oh, if e'er I should forget, I swear, but that's impossible and cannot be. Sooner shall this blue ocean melt to air, sooner shall earth resolve itself to sea, than I resign thine image, O my fair, or think of anything excepting thee. A mind diseased, no remedy can psychic. So in love with that image of that goddess, nothing can change their mind. Not even the lurching and changing of times. And, this makes me reflect upon the sortes from yesterday as well. Twice we received message from Penelope, the wife of Odysseus, the one who is left to wait. Interesting. Who can think of nothing else other than her husband, and whose resolve is tested through psychic attack even. But she remains true. That's beautiful. Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to 10 plays, Euripides. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us this evening. Zeus on Olympus hath a wide stewardship, Many things beyond expectations do the gods fulfill. That which was expected has not been accomplished. For that which was unexpected has God found the way. Such was the end of the story. Zeus on Olympus hath a wide stewardship. Many things beyond expectation do the gods fulfill. That which was expected has not been accomplished. For that which was unexpected has God found the way. Such was the end of this story. You know, the divine has the power to upset the fabric and to throw a wrench into everything, to flip things on its head. Euripides does this often to the point where it becomes a plot device that gains a name. Deus ex machina, the God in the machine. When the God descends to rescue our figure and save them from certain destruction. Most famously at the end of Medea, right? When the Dracones show up and carry Medea off in her chariot. Wild. Let's continue. We're now going to go to Rebele, Gargantua, and Pantagruel. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Rebele? Inspire us. The conduct of the people more joyful, gay, pleasing, and favorable than for any time during the last 50 years. Conduct of the people more joyful, gay, pleasing, and favorable than for any time during the last 50 years. Wow. What a good, beautiful omen. Enjoy the joyful moment in the gaiety, the pleasing and favorable time. More beautiful than in the last 50 years. Interesting. All right. Boccaccio, Decameron. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Boccaccio? Inspire us this evening. So then, Teobaldo returned home very rich and remained constant in his love. Nor did the lady again treat him harshly, but using discretion, they long had mutual solace of love. God grant us solace of ours. Wow. This is beautiful. So then Teobaldo returned home very rich and remained constant in his love. Nor did the lady again treat him harshly, but using discretion, they long had mutual solace of their love. God grant us solace of ours. Wow. In return from that journey, having gained wisdom, right? You return very rich, but this is wealth in that sense of the 10 of discs, right? Experience, Plutus, right? Stability and power, understanding. Returned home very rich and remained constant in his love. He learned that lesson that in order to be in love, one must be in love. One must be true and consistent and engaged, right? And his wife also, his lady, his partner, she also grew and learned and gained. Never again did she treat him harshly, but using discretion, they had long mutual solace of their love. Through communication and discretion, right? Not allowing one's emotions to take hold, but rather to trust in the love of the other and to see that balance and to be in flow. Mutual solace of their love. We can only wish for solace like that. May the goddess grant us. Wow, beautiful. Love it. Okay. We're now going to go to my dear friend Graham and the shape of my will. Muses, what is the message from Graham Quinn? Inspire us this evening. The sky is clear and blue. Sunshine and a gentle breeze. People I will never understand. I twist my mouth into a smile and pretend to be one of them. All of the first three lines I fully support. The sky is clear and blue, sunshine and a gentle breeze, right? The natural world is as it is. People I will never understand. No, you will not. Neither will I. This is something that is truly hard to wrestle with. I'm not saying that we should not attempt to understand and that the pursuit of understanding and the engagement with people is not beautiful, but recognize the limitations of one's understanding and recognize the fickleness of emotions and how people change over the course of their lives. No one is static, right? Nothing is constant. Nothing is clear, and you are limited by your own limited perspective. Right? You are limited by your own perspective. You can expand it through conversation, through engagement and understanding, through tools and education and science, but still you are limited by what you are capable of. And that is simply a reality of life and something that we need to reconcile. Become that Dionysus who laughs in the face of absurdity and leaps anyway, who leaps into creation and takes that risk, right? Who enjoys life and persists in life in spite of the confusion. Not that he doesn't wrestle and attempt to understand, but admits that he knows nothing and that what he knows is always fleeting and limited. Why was Socrates chosen by the oracles as the smartest person? Because they could admit the truth about themselves, that they did not understand any of it. And then this next part, I twist my mouth into a smile and pretend to be one of them. Twisting your mouth into a smile, again, I have no problem with this, right? Sometimes we need to engage in that laughter, and in those changing of our body can really change one's face, one's opinion, one's sense, right? These are acts that can work, but it's the pretending. Why are you pretending to be one of them? Why are you limiting your imagination to group conformity and control? Why do you deny yourself your true potential as that creative, artistic beauty, that reflection of the goddess, right? You have the potential to be anything you can imagine and more. Do not bind yourself to the limited thought of others. Instead, reflect upon the self by your own measure and become what you imagine. All right, let's continue. Don Juan in Hell by Bernard Shaw. Okay. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Bernard Shaw? Inspire us this evening. The law had to force her to let them be taught gratuitously, but on death she spent all she had. Their imagination glows, their energies rise up at the idea of death. These people, they love it, and the more horrible it is, the more they enjoy it. Hell is a place far above their comprehension. They derive their notion from it from two of the greatest fools that ever lived, an Italian and an Englishman. Oh my gosh, he's condemning, of course, Dante, who we were reading, and Milton. Oh my gosh. But it is not without its merits, right? The law had to force her to let them be taught gratuitously, but on death she spent all she had. Their imagination glows. Their energies rise up at the idea of death. These people, they love it. And the more horrible it is, the more they enjoy it. Hell is a place far above their comprehension. They derive their notion of it from the two of the greatest fools that ever lived, an Italian and an Englishman. Fools, right? Fools. Telling you a story, embodying Dionysus, laughing in the face of absurdity and making art out of it. Right? They may be fools, but at least there was an attempt. And that is beautiful. You know, and hell is a place far beyond our comprehension. Our comprehension, Mr. Shaw. And they love it. The more horrible it is, the more they enjoy it. This is one of the great paradoxes of life. The more horrible it is, we enjoy it, right? Yin and yang. With all love comes violence. Interesting. Interesting. Lots to think on. Lots to think on. And this idea, right? She would have... The law had to force her to let them be taught. But on death, she spent all she had. Their imagination glows. In death, their imagination glows and the energy rises up. This is that virginal sacrifice. Rises up at the idea of death. And it is transformative. What Shaw is pointing out is that these virginal sacrifices, this death, it's not beautiful, even if it results in beauty and power and transcendence. And that is the issue he takes with Milton and with Dante. Anyway, interesting. Let us now do one final sortes. We're going to go to The Three Musketeers by Dumas. Muses, what is the message from Dumas? Inspire us this evening. Milady, that woman so courageous and firm, shivered in spite of herself. Wow. Milady, that woman so courageous and firm, shivered in spite of herself. You know, Milady in many ways is very much a Median red goddess type character. Very much so. That Queen of Wands type beauty. That passionate power that radiates strength. You know, the ability to dominate all who would seek to challenge her, as Circe would. That energy shivers in spite of herself. Shivers, still shivers. Interesting. All right. We are now going to jump to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm, and it's a good blessing and good karma. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out to me at snappydddts@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord. I'm Snappy or Lady Snappy. And today we're going to use the Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke Saturn Kronos and ask them to dissect our life, cut it up and put it on the plate, to show us our current conflicts and teach us how to rise above, how to best move and flow, and how to manifest our true will. So the center card is always the most important card. In today's center, swiftness, big things ahead, passionate, fiery change coming on the wings of Hermes, right? 1 before the 9, that fiery, passionate explosion, that number of Medea. This is on the cusp of the most powerful, passionate fire imaginable in the suit of wands. So this is intense energy, communication, movement, change, radical passionate, fiery energy on full display. Let's see where this is going. Connected to that fiery energy, we have our dear friend the devil, Lucifer himself, that beautiful goat, the one who has the power to ascend the mountain, achieve their dreams, and be placed among the stars, who has the power to manifest your will, to give you anything that you desire, to bind or free you. The question is, what do you want? What do you seek from that satanic power? Right? What you have asked for, the message is coming in quick, right? The key with the devil is always to be true, right? To be in the state of without greed and without control and power. If you give up control, power, and greed, the devil will help you. He wants you to be loved and to pursue love, to joy and to experience wisdom. He is Prometheus, who gave his life and suffers in eternity to share his light with you. Right? Let's continue. The message is one of adjustment, of balance, of learning to tweak, to be able to move in that middle path, to be able to move in communication and in flow. The message of how we do this is coming in quick, and all of this change in motion is here. We need to learn to be able to adjust and adapt and flow with this coming change. Okay, let's continue. Wow. What is the message that is being sent by that Hermes Eight of Wands? Love is on the way. Loving connection, fulfillment, right? The alchemical wedding before the consummation of the creation of art. Beautiful energy. Two forces coming together for that purpose of sharing, of mutual understanding, and of creation. To give birth to that divine phonies reformed as the uniting of themselves. Wow. This is the completion of a cycle, right? This is what we wished for. This is what we desired. We've been in this pursuit of love, and love we have found. Wow. Love we have found. And now is the time to reflect upon this and to begin that new cycle, to be in that profound energy of the new ion, to give birth to a new vision of the self, to reimagine the self and to undergo the transformation, right? To engage in the process of the alchemical wedding is to be informed and transformed by the partner, whoever that is. To be reflected in the other and to be reflected by the other. You will transform to love them better, and they will transform in order to love you better. You will see each other reflected in each other, and you will give birth to this new ionic energy of transformation, of reimagination, of engaging in a new ion, giving birth to that divine Harpocrates, the god of silence, the child to come, the imagination of new forms and new conceptions, new perspectives that are born of this union. Born of the union. Wow. Wow. And this is the completion of a divine, passionate cycle. Great learning, great production, great healing. So much beautiful energy. Wow. Wow. Let's continue. And what is the result of this love? Our cups are full and are overflowing. We are in that state of pure reciprocity, right? Where the cards are balanced, where they are both giving and receiving in mutual loving flow, where the pleasure is untold. Beautiful. You know, the 6 is the most balanced number, right? It is that middle path. This is balanced, fulfilling, romantic, adoring love. Wow. Let's continue. And this love, this connection, it brings balance. It brings balance. And the two of peace becomes the four of truce as you come together in harmony and give birth to new ideas through shared perspective, the bloom of the flower, as the result of that coming together in harmony, right? Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. Not only do we have that divine six, which is that middle path of absolute pleasure and perfect flow, but we have the power of abundance. The three, that expansive love that grows and expands into the future. The three begets six, begets nine, right? Explosive energy. So this connection will inspire and bring resounding love. Resounding love means friendship, connection, family, children. Wow, this is incredibly positive. So much beautiful energy here. No negative energy to be found. Only energy is to be cautioned of is yourself. Are you clear about what you desire? And are you pursuing love from that position of selflessness? Wow. Let's continue. Let's look at the full spread. I love it. Let's start here. The devil. Yeah, this is what did we wish for in many ways is for this balance. It's to find love and to find peace. To find to complete these cycles. This is really what we've been looking for. And we complete these cycles in this loving connection. Right? We come to truth with the other, and together we share a balanced mind, and we help each other and reflect and create that beautiful flower, that new perspective, right? And this loving flow creates the wheel, the end of that fiery, passionate cycle, right? Where we can exist in harmony and ignite together in that continual flame of fire that goes on. Wow. Let's look here. We have that 8, that swiftness. This is coming in quick, change is around the corner. You're moving towards love. You're pursuing love, and love is coming in. That marriage is at your door, right? That connection to that other, that partner, that one who is going to bring the pleasure into your life. That balance, that mutual fulfilling emotional connection that exists in perfect harmony of shared reciprocity. Wow. Wow. I love it. Love it. And here, right? The adjustments. With slight adjustments, we transform and we give birth to a new self and we pursue a new cycle as we expand in mutual creative flow with this partner. And this brings so much loving abundance that's expansive through connections with others. So our shared connection and this connection will inspire love resounding. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful. Let us now look at our crosses. Yeah. The truth and the coming together, the sharing of perspectives with the partner, right? The moving together in connection with the partner and embracing this change is what brings the new ion. It's what allows you to have that strength to do what is necessary to take responsibility and grow, to reimagine and to begin a new cycle, a shared cycle. Wow. In this movement, this swiftness, it ends this cycle, this pursuit of love and this passion. This loving passion is fulfilled. The connection is found. We move together and it manifests in that emotional abundance, in that overflowing loving cups that expand outward into the universe. Incredible energy, right? The thing here is about connecting to the partner, sharing in that balance of perspectives, and that balance of passions, creating, being in that mutual flow so you can give birth to abundance, so that you can reimagine and give birth to a new self. And the key here is to move, to adapt, to change, to embrace this passion, to pursue love with that quickness and single mindedness of focus. And the only thing to worry about here is, can you adjust and do what is necessary to refocus, to stay focused? And are you asking for the right thing? Can you be true to your will? Can you be true to the laws of the universe? Can you be in that loving flow and recognize that you must avoid the pitfalls of power and greed? If you can do these things and continue, wow, love, beauty, and new horizons. That's the future. Mutual perspective and sharing that gives birth to abundance. Wow, love it. So profound. All right, everyone. That was the message. It resonated with me. I hope it resonated with you. And we will end today with one final sortes. Let us go back to Don Juan in Hell. All right. Muses, what is the message from Bernard Shaw? Inspire us. I am sorry to shock you, my love, but since Juan has stripped every rag of decency from the discussion, I may as well tell the frozen truth. Wow. And then the reply is, I suppose I was one of the thorns. And the statue says, by no means, you were often a rose. You see, your mother had most of the trouble you gave. Interesting. Interesting. You were often a rose. Remember the rose, right? I'm sorry to shock you, but since Juan has stripped every rag of decency from the discussion, I may as well tell the truth. Only when the veil of decency has been removed do we dare to share our true emotions. This is another thing that we need to reflect on. There is a deep power in respectability. There's a deep power in showing someone love and being in that cautious way of speaking and caring. But we also need to be, cautious of it and recognize that this euphemistic way of speaking and this over politeness often hides the truth, and it removes one from perspective, and we no longer see things as they are, right? We lose sight of reality, and we deny ourselves to look at it because it is ugly. We obscure it through language, right? We obscure it. And sometimes that's good if we need to protect the vulnerable. Sometimes that's deeply bad if we're lying about atrocity, right? Something to think on. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Please give me a like and a subscribe. And I hope I will see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sortes. Take care, everyone.